head. So I wanted to start by just lifting and rolling the shoulders, stretching the arms up, just stretch up, press your feet down, lower the hands, and come to one of the most basic mudras at the heart center. When you press the hands together and almost the thumbs come into the sternum, you are activating, particularly on the outer little fingers, so the meridians running through. The hands and the heart are very connected. So that's one mudra. And then we're going to move to another mudra, which is Padma mudra. So I hope you can see me, Sarah. Thumbs and fingers together and opening your lotus Padma flower at the heart. Just for a couple of breaths. And there's something quite elegant about that. And then the final mudra we've done before is Hakini mudra, tips of the fingers together. This is also good for brain, brain, because you've got little nadi or energy points at the end of the fingers. And when people are thinking, like, what should I do? They often do this unconsciously without even thinking about it. And again, there are mudras for everything: anxiety, mudras for the heart, mudras for the lungs, mudras for respiratory. And I've got a book here because I've got some basic mudras, but I haven't got it all on the tips, I need to reference it. So as it's the two of you, and you're both very much more, what shall I say, you can cope with a little bit more yogic, I thought I would do a form of Ashtanga yoga, and you're looking at me in amazement because I never do Ashtanga yoga, but Ashtanga yoga was never designed for the kind of yoga that you'll find today in gyms. Ashtanga yoga originally was a different style of yoga. It's still the same moves, so we're going to be slowing it down very much more in the old tradition. Today's Ashtanga mudra has various formats, B and series, blah, blah, blah. So we're going to do a fusion of that, but it is one of the things within Ashtanga yoga that sometimes gets missed out, I've mentioned before, is that it should be, even in a fast power class, you should stop regularly for rests to let your body reabsorb the energy. Some do, some teachers do, some don't. So this is a version of this, but very, very not to the scripted A or B series. So start to lift and roll your shoulders back and raising your hands up, clasp and reverse up. And just again a slight lateral from side to centre, and then to side, and then to centre. Just a slight rotation that realigns the muscles along the spine, but only to where you feel appropriate, and then to the other side. And then palms together as you bend your knees, hands on the shins, breathing in, half lift, breathing out, bend in, breathing in, half lift, and then slide your hands down to the floor, and we're going to step back, keeping it high plank. Right foot, then left foot in plank. Tummy engages, knees to the ground. If you're a chaturanga baby, then you can do that. And then come to lying on the floor, and stretch your hands out in front of you, stretching on your front. Now for your upper immune and lymphatic system, just bounce the tops of your feet on the floor. And you can just move the feet outwards and slightly inwards to get to different parts. And then slide your hands back to shoulder height, elbows in, press down so that you come back to your knees. And then tucking your toes, come to your downward dog. feel that, as always, you can adjust your feet and adjust your hands. And begin to walk the dog, so that you're bending one knee and then bending the other knee. And your hips may sway. So in Ashtanga Yoga, you'll often stay here for 5 breaths on the recovery phase, where you moved a lot more quickly. Both feet back, and then bend both knees, come back to kneeling. Hands go to the left. Right foot comes up, hands either side of the right foot. And just allow yourself to settle into the right hip, which might mean extending the right knee beyond your 90 degrees. Come back to your 90 degrees, tuck your left toes under, tummy in, or lower abdominal muscles in. Lift your left knee, and then just step your back left foot slightly in. And then just rock forwards and backwards. Step your foot in a little bit more if you need to, and then step your left foot to your right foot. Hands on your shins, breathing in, lengthening along the spine. Breathe out, bend in. Breathe in, half lift, lengthen, tailbone to the top of the head, chin in. And then stay here as you breathe out. And then breathing in, press your feet into the ground and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Hands up. Palms together as you bring them through the centre. And then just roll down. Hands to the floor. Step back with your left foot high, right foot high. You're in plank again. Abdominal muscles in. Either come to your knees and come to lying, or come to chaturanga, which is almost beyond me, which is straight down in a straight line, and then stretch your hands out, stretching. And then this time, bend you at the knees, soles of the feet to the ceiling, and just rock your hip side to side. Your hip bone will lift off the ground. And then come to the centre. Lower your legs, slide your hands back, palms down, elbows in, press down to kneeling. And then tucking your toes, come to your downward dog. Tummy in, you really are engaging your core. Perineum slightly engages. So then again, bend one knee and then the other knee. And your hips might like to rock from side to side. Both feet back, both knees to the ground. Your hands go to the right and your left foot comes up. Hands either side of your left foot. Just stretch into that left hip, going the knee beyond 90 degrees. Bring your knee back for support. Tuck your right toes. Lift your right knee and step your back right foot slightly in so that you can rock to and fro across the full spectrum of the sole of the foot, and then step your right foot to your left. Hands on your shins, breathing in, lengthening, breathing out, bending in, breathing in, lengthening. Stay here as you breathe out, and breathe in. Roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing, stretching up, and then just let your hands release. So then the next, lifting and rolling your shoulders, raising your hands up, clasping and reversing, stretching up. Just side to side, slightly turn slightly to the other side. Come back to the centre and lift your heels. And then lower your heels to 1 millimetre off the ground, and then lower your heels completely. Release your hands to shoulder height. Turn to look beyond the 3rd fingers of the left hand. If you've gone the other way, don't worry. Come to the centre, go to the 3rd finger of the other hand. Come to the centre, and then lower your hands. Lift and roll your shoulders. Clasp your hands behind you Knuckles to the floor and lift your arms away from you. Go slightly to the left, slightly to the right. Come back to the centre, release your hands, lift and roll your shoulders, hands on the waist and just bend the knees, tummy in. Press your feet down to come up. And then once more, circle your hands up, come through the centre, lower, bending your knees, hands to either side of you. Step back with your right foot, come high, left foot come high, straight line. Choose either to come to the knees or come to chaturanga and then come to lying on the ground. And stretch your hands out in front of you. And this time, bend your knees and just sway your feet from side to side. Lower your legs, slide your hands back, palms down, elbows in, come back to kneeling. Just do a cat-cow, dipping your back, looking up or along the mat, that depends on your neck. Breathing out, rounding chin to chest. Breathing in, dipping your back. And rounding chin to chest as you tuck your toes, tummy in, perineum engages, coming to your downward dog. Adjust your feet. The wider your feet are, the softer it is on your body. Bending one foot and then the other foot as you sway passively from side to side. Your tummy is engaged, your perineum is engaged, and that is also connection. It's actually called bandha in this, where you're pulling up inside. And then bend both knees to the ground. Hands to the left. Right foot up. Right foot can go out to the right as you stand up, as to kneel up. And then raise your left arm, left hand to the right thigh, right hand on the waist. I'm trying to remember that. And then just turn to the right. Take an in and an out breath. Come back to the centre, hands either side of the right foot. Tuck the back left toes, tummy in, lift the back left knee. Just bring your left foot in slightly and just then rock just very gently from side, forwards and backwards. And then step your left foot to your right foot. Hands on the shins, breathing in, lengthening along the body. Breathing out, bending in. Breathing in, lengthen. From the tailbone to the top of the head, the chin is in, neck is long. Stay here as you breathe out. And breathing in, pressing your feet into the ground and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Breathing in. Circle the hands up, stretch up. Hands through the centre at the heart. Release the hands down alongside you and then lift and roll the shoulders. Clasp the hands behind you, knuckles to the ground. Separate the hands and slide your fingers, I'm using my fourth fingers, down the backs of the legs. Hands either side of the feet, step back, left foot, right foot, you're staying high, heels up to the ground. Plank or chaturanga, your choice. I'm coming to kneeling, lying on my tummy, lying on my front, stretching my hands out. And just roll slightly to the left. I'm rolling onto my left side and then I'm coming to roll onto my tummy and roll slightly to the, I'm using my hand to press down to support my roll to the right side. Come back to the centre. Slide your hands towards you to chest level. Hands down, elbows in. Press down to kneeling. Come to tabletop
As we cat-cow, dip breathing in, looking either up or along the back, that depends on your neck. Breathing out, rounding chin to chest. Breathing in, dipping the back. And then breathing out as you round. Tuck your toes, tummy in, lower abdominal muscles in. Come to your downward dog. Adjust your feet. And then walk the dog. Bending one knee and then bending the other knee. Downward dog is very strengthening. It's an inversion. It's generally toning for the entire body. As long as you can stand your head being down. Some people can't, but I think we're okay here. And then very gently bend both knees down to the ground, hands to the right. Bring up the left foot, hands either side of the left foot. Feel that you can move your left foot out to the left as you kneel up, and then raising the right arm. Bring the right hand to the outside left thigh, with the left arm on the waist, and breathing in, turn to look over your left shoulder. If your head doesn't naturally turn to look to the left, then just where it's good for you. Taking an in and an out breath. Come back to the centre, hands either side of the left foot, tucking the right toes underneath. Lift up the right knee and step your right foot in slightly, just very gently coming forwards and backwards. Stepping your right foot to your left foot, hands on the shins, breathing in, lengthening along the spine. Breathe out, bend in. Breathe in, lengthening along the spine. Stay here as you breathe out. And breathing in, pressing your feet down as you soften your knees and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Breathing in, stretching the arms up. And breathing out to lower the hands back down alongside you. And lift and roll the shoulders. Breathing in, bring your hands to the heart. Circle your arms up. Clasp and reverse. Just again go from side to side. Turn to one direction. Come through the centre to turn to the other direction. And then stretch up, press your feet down. And then release, hands go out to the side, turn to look beyond the fingers of one hand. Come to the centre with your head and turn to look beyond the fingers of the other hand. Come to the centre and then lower your hands, lift and roll your shoulders, bend your knees. You can step your feet slightly wider if that's good. Bottom can go away and up and out from you. Brings on your abdominal control, coming up. Lift and roll your shoulders. Bring your palms, if you can't manage that, first expression is wrists, next expression is elbows, and the yogic third expression, if you can manage it, is palms of the hands together, even the thumbs, but whatever you can do is good. Opening the elbows, which is more difficult. Turn to the left, come to the centre, and then turn to the right. Come to the centre, bend your knees and come forward. Press your feet down and come up. Release the hands. They will feel a bit as if you need to shake them out. However that will shake them out, however that works for you. And then bring your hands to your heart centre. And circling up, stretch up. Bring your hands through the palms, to the centre. Bend your knees, hands either side of your feet. Step back, right foot high, left foot high. Either knees to the ground or come to chaturanga. lower to the ground. Stretch your hands out in front of you. Just take an in and an out breath here. Slide your hands back to the chest, elbows in, press down on your hands, and just come to your knees for a moment. You're in a supported up dog, looking ahead or up, and then come back to all fours. And breathing in, dipping your back, breathing out, rounding chin to chest. Breathing in, dipping your back. Feel that the movement is initiated from the base of the spine, so the energy waves as you round your back, chin to chest, all the way from the base of the spine to the top of the head. Tuck your toes, tummy in, perineum engages, and then come to your downward dog. So here, just bring your left foot slightly in. Lift your right foot up behind you, extend the right heel slightly, and then just bend your right knee and open out so that you look under your right arm, and then just lower your right leg. Walk the dog, and then bend the knees to the ground, hands to the left, right foot up, and then just move your left knee back so that you're stretching out the right leg. Your right toes are up to the ceiling. It's a stretch, hands either side of your right leg. You can stay up as I am, or if you really want to encourage that stretch, and your knee is good, then come back to really sitting. A lot of people can't do this because they've got dodgy knees, so this becomes impossible for them. But then come, when you're ready, back up again. Tuck your left toes underneath, lift your left knee and step your left foot to your right foot, hands on the shins, breathing in, lengthen. Breathing out, soften your knees and elbows, bend in. Breathing in, lengthen. Stay here as you breathe out. And breathing in, soften your knees, press your feet down as you roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Raising the hands, just hold the thumbs as you just sway from side to side. Bring your hands through the centre and then swirl them up again, sway from side to side. And then bringing your hands through the centre, bending your knees, coming back down to the ground. Step your left foot back and then your right foot back. You're in high. Either bend your knees to the ground or come to chaturanga. Come into line on your tummy, stretching your arms out. Just classic relaxing here, but stretching. Take an in and an out breath. And then slide your hands back, hands on the ground, elbows in, press down to come by your knees. Up dog to tabletop, and then breathing in, dipping the back, looking up, breathing out, rounding chin to chest, breathing in, dipping the back, looking up if your neck will support that, otherwise along the floor, breathing out, rounding chin to chest. Tuck your toes, coming into your downward dog. Feel free to adjust your feet as you walk the dog gently from side to side. Slightly bring your right foot forward, lift your left foot, and then bend your left knee and open your left knee looking under your left arm. And then very gently lower the left foot, coming back to dog, walking the dog again, and then bending both knees. Hands go to the right. Your left foot comes up, and then we're going to stretch the toes of the left foot up, which for me means bringing my right knee back a little bit. Just stretching, and decide whether you want to tuck your right toes under, have them flat, or whether you want to come even further to sit back on your heels almost, for which you need very, very strong knees. Some people love it, some people absolutely don't. So choose a position that works for you. And then tummy in as you come back up again, hands either side of your left foot. Tuck your right toes, tummy in and get perineum engages, it's easy to let that go. Lift your right knee and step your right knee to your right foot to your left foot. Hands on the shins as you breathe in, lengthening. Breathe out, bending in. Breathe in, lengthening. Stay here as you breathe out. And then breathing in, soften your knees, rolling up vertebra by vertebra.
And then I thought we'd do one last one, just at a much more normal pace, if you're up for that. So it tends to be one movement per breath, but I'm going to stay in downward dog a fraction longer, of course. Inhale, exhale, hands together. Inhale, hands up, stretch up. Bring your palms together through the centre.
Bend as you roll down, hands either side of your feet, step back, right foot, left foot, plank. Come to lying, however suits you, hands out. Stretch your hands back, palms down, elbows in, come to kneeling, come to downward dog. We are going to adjust our downward dog slightly by just resting here for a couple of breaths. And then I like to bring my left foot slightly forward. I raise my right foot. I look to the space between my hands and I step forward with my right foot, left foot, press the feet down and roll up. Hands up. Hands down. Inhale, exhale, hands together at the heart. Circling the hands up, stretching up, palms together through the centre, roll down. Step back, left foot, right foot, straight line. Come to lying, however it works for you. Stretch the arms forward. Stretch the arms back, elbows in, come to kneeling. Come to downward dog. Stay here for a couple of breaths. You can walk the dog, you can slightly go from side to side. Just letting your body recover. Right foot slightly forward, lift the left foot, look to the space between your hands and step forward with your left foot, right foot. Press your feet into the ground. As you roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing, arms up and lower your arms. Lift and roll your shoulders and come to standing feet hip width apart as we go from side to side. Just letting the energy that we've built up again further dissipate. And then just very gently come to slowly sway down, come to the centre, feet more together, hip width apart, lift and roll the shoulders, hands together, and we're going to gently come down to a seated position. Cross-legged.
And hands on the knees as we sit up. Round chin to chest. Sit up. Round chin to chest. Sit up. Round chin to chest. Again, just slowing the energy down. Sitting up and rounding chin to chest. And then just very gently circle a couple of times in one way. And then circle a couple of times in the other direction. And then just support under your thighs to bring your legs out in front of you. Take the flesh out from under your bottom if you need to do that. Just hands lightly on the floor, sitting up, and cross your right leg over your left, so your right ankle over your left. Sit up. Your left hand comes to the outside of your right thigh, and your right hand goes behind you. You can be on your palms or your fingertips, whatever works. Breathing in, lift, sitting up, lengthening, breathing out, turning. Just stay here for a couple of breaths. Breathing in, come back to the centre. Come back with your hands. With your hands on the ground, take your right ankle off your left and cross over. And just again lengthening the body. You can lift your right hand up if you like to cross over the body and hold your left thigh, left hand behind. Breathing in, lengthening the body, breathing out, turning. Breathing in, lengthening, and breathing out, turning. Stay here for an in and an out breath. Come back to the centre, uncross your legs, raise your hands upwards, hold your thumbs, and then tummy in, perineum engages. If you're very strong on your core, you'll come straight over in a forward bend. If you're not, which is me, bend your elbows and then slide your hands down your shins. Holding anywhere on the shins. You might like to hold your big toes if you have got the space, the capacity in your arm length. If you really have capacity, you can hold the outside edges of your feet. And if you've really got capacity, you can turn your hand so that the palm faces outwards, and then just hold your hands like that, which is really stretching me. So I'm going to come back one, and just take a couple of breaths in and out. And then sliding the hands up, either staying with your feet out, come to a cross-leg position again, as we come to the heart. And this is another heart mudra, so you interlace your fingers, you cross your fingers over, but your thumbs are free. So I hope you can see that, crossing your fingers, thumbs free, and just bring your hands to your heart, just maybe chin to your chest. And just take a few breaths at the heart centre. And then very gently releasing that mudra and coming to the throat now, but for the throat we're going to lie on our backs, knees bent, feet hip width apart. And this is a variation of bridge. So hands, palms down on the floor. Just start with a couple of pelvic tilts, flattening the back as if you're going to lift your bottom and then just releasing. So there's a little gap under the base of the back. Just do that a couple of times. And then next time you flatten your back, press your feet down, lift your bottom as little as much as you would like, tummy in,
perineum engages. Bend your elbows and snake your arms up. Chin goes into the chest naturally, stretching your arms up behind you. Just check your knees aren't splaying out. And then breathing out. Just wait for you to.
Hit the wall.
Just breathing out, lower your bottom back down to the ground, lower your arms. When your bottom's on the ground, hug your knees into your chest. Soles of the feet go to the ceiling. Palms of the hands together, tummy in, and just lift your head a fraction to look at your palms. Head goes back down to the ground. Hug your knees into your chest. Soles of the feet go back down to the floor. Palms go back down to the floor. When you're ready, once more flatten your back, lift your bottom, engage your perineum, engage your tummy in, snake your arms up. They can stretch out as little or as much as you want. Your chin naturally goes into your chest. Start to breathe out. Lower your back and bottom to the ground, and you'll find that your arms will follow naturally. When your bottom is connected back to the floor, you can bend your knees into your chest, and soles of the feet go up to the ceiling. Palms of the hands together, tummy in, perineum engages. Lift your head fractionally, lower your head. Hug your knees into your chest. Soles of the feet go down to the ground. And then one last time, palms down to the floor. When you're ready, press your palms down, flatten your back, lift your bottom, tummy in. Check your knees aren't splaying out. Feel that someone's holding them, and then raise your arms up above your head, chin to chest, stretch out. When your breath out back comes in, lower your bottom back down to the ground, lower your arms back down to your knees, hugging your knees into your chest when you feel that ready to do that. And then soles of the feet up to the ceiling, your legs open in a slight V, palms of the hands together, lift your head up, look to your thumbs, lower your head, hug your knees in, and then just very, very gently just rock from side to side. And then just place your feet on the ground. This breath can be done seated or lying. So I'm going to suggest we do it lying. It's a breath for calming and for anxiety. So if you're anxious about not having anything, just the principle is very simple. I'm going to suggest using your right hand to block your nostrils off. I'm not going to be, just however you want to. I would block my right nostril with my right thumb and my left nostril with my right fourth finger, and my second and third finger either up or just down. So that's how I do it. So the principle of this, it's breathing in always through your left nostril and breathing out always through the right. So by focusing on the left side of the body, you are bringing out the moon or the yin side of your body and focusing on calm. So we're just going to do a few breaths. I might sit up, that you can see what I'm doing, and feel free to sit up if you really don't feel comfortable sitting, lying down. So you breathe just normally in and out. And then when you're ready, come with your right hand to block your right nostril and breathe in only through your left. Lock your left nostril with your ring finger and breathe out through your right nostril. And again, block your right nostril as you breathe in through the left. Breathe out through the right. Only breathe in through the left nostril. And only breathe out through the right. And I'm going to leave you for a few breaths in your own time, in your own breath pattern.
And then there's just a taster of a moon, yin, calming breath. So if you're on your own and you need to calm down, you can do this anytime. Just drop your hand, drop the breath. And either if you're sitting or you're lying, come back to one of the heart mudras of your choice. You've probably forgotten them. So I'm going to interweave my fingers, my thumbs are out, and just bring my hands to my heart, dropping my chin into my chest. Acknowledging the heart, very connected at this time of the year. The heart, of course, is very connected to respiratory. It's around that centre, although, so just acknowledging that. And then just releasing your hands. And I don't think I even gonged the gong, but thank you very much.